Hello everyone, I'm Graham with GraflexParts.com and I'm going to walk you through the 3x4 Polaroid adapter for 3x4 rotating back Graflex SLR cameras. Before we begin, you'll see that I've already got the Graflex mount itself partially deconstructed already. I've taken out the two wood pieces along with any of the sliders. To get these parts out, there are two screws on the top along with the screws for the slider. There are another two screws on the bottom along with two on the sides, and then there's three on another piece of metal that will be on top of this. There's another couple that are hidden on the back side of this piece, which we'll be able to reveal when we turn the rotation ring and flip the camera sideways. We'll be able to see the holes come through the back side. Once we've removed the screws from the back side, the sides, and the top of the wooden parts, we'll be left with the light seal, which on your camera you'll have to tear out. On this camera, I've already replaced the light seal with one that has convenient holes for the screws. You'll notice that there's 14 screws arranged in a circle here. Those screws attach to the rotation ring that will later attach to the CB103 adapter too. To begin with, I'm going to remove the 14 screws, and that will take this first adapter part off, and we'll see the ring underneath. Once we have the back removed, you're going to want to save all your screws so we can use these for the next portion of the adapter. Once we've got the mount off, I'd like to remind us that we should have the curtain set to open, just to make sure that we don't damage anything as we're going further with this. Now that we've got our mount off the camera, we'll see that we've got this ring with the recessed edge to it that locks in at 90-degree orientations to this button here. Let's take our CB103 holder and open it up and see that we've only got 8 screws compared to the 14 that we already took out, so you will have a couple extra during this. Grabbing on the inner corners, away from the sides of the curtain, we can retain this metal ring and press it flush against the bottom of the adapter. We'll take our first screw, put it in the corner next to where we're holding, screw it into the plastic, and through the plastic into the metal. The rest of these screws we're going to insert in sequence, going across the camera, just to keep everything balanced as it's tightening down. We'll grab the second screw, put it in the corner. To help with this one too, we'll also grab here, give it a little bit of pressure, and they'll line up nice together. Let's go through and let's add the rest of the screws. Alright, our CB103 adapter is on the camera, and I'm going to take the rest of the back apart just to show you the mechanics, but also, as an extra tip, if these screws were too hard to get in from this angle, sometimes you can remove this plate and then attach it and work with it off of the entire body of the camera. This is also tough because there are a couple screws that are a little hidden that you'd have to come at it with an angle. We're going to go ahead and remove them, and I'll point to the part where those screws are. I'd like to remind everyone that even if the wood screws are hand cut or machine cut, they all have thread variances and usually have to go back into the same holes that they came out of, just to ensure that we're not going to strip the screws out through the life of this camera and modifying and removing the back. So to keep things straight, we're going to arrange all the screws in just a geometric pattern over here to keep them all corresponding with the shape of the back. These are the two screws that'll be tough to get when you're putting the camera back together, and you end up coming at them from an angle, but if you do it gently enough, you can get them to thread in and out without cross-threading them. Alright, let's pull the back off the camera. When we flip it over, we're going to see the rotation ring that we did clamp to on the other side. And we see the switch also that notches in every 90 degrees throughout this. And here is the edge that sometimes can be a pain if this ring really jumps out of track, this is what you end up fighting just to get it back in, because sometimes it won't want to go into place and it just needs to slide underneath this little spring clip. Thank you guys for watching. I'd also like to point out that I've got replacement light seals, replacement wood screws, and replacement machine screws for these 3x4 cameras available, just for reverting your camera back from the CB103 mod, so if you so choose.